How's it going, guys? So today, upon special request, the person shall remain anonymous, but it's nothing serious. But yeah, the topic of the day is why you shouldn't move in with the person you're dating or the person that you're engaged to, and I'll go through 4 reasons as to why you shouldn't. At least just that I came up with quickly because I haven't been studying to make a specific video or anything like that. So yeah, these are just 4 points. I could probably make multiple, but yeah, just 4 points. So the 4 points are: one is temptation, two is it sets a bad example, three, sin. Not saying that it is a sin, but I'll get into that further. And four is about honoring marriage. So, getting into the first one, the first reason why you shouldn't move in together before marriage is, well, one being that it's well, obviously there's going to be temptation, right? Like, that's the first thing. There's even temptation not being moved in. Like, for example, for me, I was tempted beyond imaginable before getting married, and it was a real struggle. It was a serious struggle, and we weren't even living together. I wasn't even living with my wife or anything like that before we were married. But it's hard. It is very hard, and there is so much temptation. So why would you give the opportunity for there to be so much more temptation if you're living together and you're in this closed space together? Obviously, you're going to be lusting after each other, and therefore there comes adultery. And it's pretty bad. Like, it's some serious temptation. And why would you put yourself through that? We're told to flee sexual immorality. I was going to say temptation, but you can't really flee temptation per se, because we will be tempted. But yeah. But I have some passages here that I wrote down on my notebook. So we'll go to 1 Corinthians 6, verse 18. Let me flip there myself. I should be there, but unprepared. Right here. No, that's 2 Corinthians. 1 second here. I apologize for being so slow. But 1 second. Here we are. 1 Corinthians 6, verse 13. Or 18, pardon me. Verse 18. 1 Corinthians 6, verse 18. So, it says, verse 18, flee from sexual immorality. Every other sin a person commits is outside the body, but the sexually immoral person sins against his own body. So yeah, we're called to flee from sexual immorality. So, in doing so, if you're going to be fleeing from sexual immorality, you're going to be fleeing from the things that would cause you to fall into sexual immorality, right? You wouldn't be doing things that would just be a temptation to you. If you know that these are things that'll entice you to commit sin, why would you do it? It really doesn't make sense. And another verse I have is verse 13 that I wanted to read as well. 1 Corinthians 6, verse 13 is here. It's talking about the person that being the tempter. So I'll just read it. So, food is meant for the stomach, and the stomach for food, and God will destroy both one and the other. The body is not meant for sexual immorality, but for the Lord, and the Lord for the body. So, yeah, and committing your body is for the Lord. So, in committing sexual immorality, and if you're to be living together, you're probably going to be committing adultery because you're probably going to be sleeping together. The odds are very, very high that you're going to be having sex with each other. There's I don't know what the chances are of you not ending up having sex if you're going to be living together before marriage. I think it's honestly zero. There isn't zero. There's no way that you're not going to have sex. I think it'd be impossible. But I don't know if you have that self-control. But I mean, it's stupid to move in together before marriage. But but yeah, so God says that He will destroy both one and the other. That the body is not meant for sexual immorality. We're not meant for sexual immorality. We're to flee from these sins. And so maybe I'll do a bit further on temptation in a bit, but so I'll move on to the second point, which is it's a bad example. You're giving a bad example to other believers and also to non-believers. And we are supposed to be exemplary of Christ, right? We are supposed to be Christ's example on earth. And yeah, and it raises assumptions like in the community, right? And I have a passage for that. 1 Peter 2, verse 11 to 12. Let me flip there, see if I can get there quicker than Corinthians. Oh yeah, look at that, eh? 1 Peter 2. Okay, verse 11 to 12. Beloved, I urge you, as sojourners and exiles, to abstain from the passions of the flesh, which wage war against your soul. Keep your conduct among the Gentiles honorable, so that when they speak against you as evildoers, they may see your good deeds and glorify God on the day of visitation. So, we are to be examples to others, right? And if our conduct isn't honorable, then if people say evil things against us, they have a reason to. You're giving the enemy, and you're giving anybody, really, a reason to speak poorly about you and to make accusations, whether they be true or false, in the context of if you've moved in together with your partner, then, but not a marriage partner. Yeah, obviously, they'd be well within their rights to make these assumptions and accusations against you. And as people of God, we're held to a higher standard. And one second, iced coffee. But yeah, we're held to a higher standard, right? And so if people are seeing us do these worldly things, then they're just going to be like, oh, these Christians are just do whatever they want. And they're like, oh, they're not any different from us. And they'd not be lying. So we got to be examples of Christ here on this earth and not be like the world. And yeah, and so the two sins, which is point 3, is sexual immorality and also adultery. Not saying that if you move in together, nowhere does it say explicitly in the Bible that if you move in together with whoever you're dating or the person that you're engaged to, it doesn't say that it's a sin. It's not. But obviously, there's going to be an immense amount of temptation. And yeah, and probably sexual immorality will arise from that. And we are to flee those things. So it's just, truly, it's an assumption that you will commit adultery and that you'll be in sexual immorality, right? And so that'll bring me to my point 4, which is honor marriage. I'll just go to the passage here, Hebrews 13, verse 4. Let me just flip there quick. It's right close. Okay. Oh, boy. Okay. So, Hebrews 13, verse 4. Let marriage be held in honor among all, and let the marriage bed be undefiled, for God will judge the sexually immoral and adulterous. It clearly states those two sins, sexually immoral and adulterous, right? And and marriage is to be held in honor. It's an honorable thing. And and let the marriage bed be undefiled. So you're dishonoring marriage by committing these sins if you're in adultery and like if you're sleeping together before marriage. And if you're going to be moving in together, then before marriage you're probably going to be having sex. Like, I don't know who would have the self-control for that, but if you do, that's insane. But it's just plain stupid because you're just opening the door to just all the temptation, and you will give into it. It's like, honestly, like basically guaranteed, like that you're going to give into these sins. You're just going to commit adultery and sexual immorality because you'll like it. And then you'll feel ashamed and you'll feel guilty. But if you are a believer, if you don't feel guilty and shameful about your sin, I think you have a serious problem, and you should talk to God and, well, in prayer, and repent of your sins. Because that's serious if you don't actually feel a terrible way after you've committed a sin. Especially one of that is, sexual immorality, that you're not just sinning against your own body. Right? Like, let me just go back. I'll quote again. Was it Matthew 18? Verse 7? I don't even know. Just 1 second here. Actually, I don't think I quoted that one. We'll see what that one says. I have it written down here. Must be important. 18 verse 7. Oh! Yeah. I guess I didn't read it, but woe to the world for temptations to sin. For it is necessary that temptations come, but woe to the one by whom the temptation comes. Here I'll just go on another thing, actually, and I'll come back to that, what I was talking about. But yeah, if you're in a relationship, obviously the man will be in charge, and in marriage, the man is the head of the relationship, right? So I would say all of this would fall directly on the man, because it's his responsibility, and he's being a coward, and he's being, I don't know what words to use, but he's being selfish, and he's just being a sinful man. And but yeah, if you're in that situation, then and you're the man of the relationship, then be careful, because it says, but woe to the one by whom the temptation comes. Yeah. So if you're causing your loved one to be tempted by you, then yeah, you got another thing coming, buddy. But yeah, let me just go back to 1 Corinthians 6:18 here, because I think that's what I was wanting to talk about. Oh, whoa. I just went to Ephesians. What am I doing? Okay. 1 Corinthians 6 verse 18. Let's see what we have. Yeah, so every other sin a person commits is outside the body, but the sexually immoral person sins against his own body. So you're not sinning against just others, but you're sinning against yourself. But yeah, those are the 4 points. If you'd like further talk on that, let me know in the comments. But I'm going to end it there. And yeah. So if you're dating or engaged, wait till you get married to move in, because you'll be making a stupid mistake and you will regret it, and you'll just be committing sin as well. So yeah, stay away from it, and yeah, just be careful out there. You want to flee from these sins, and especially once you start to love each other, then it's going to be really hard. And yeah, so just be careful, because you will be tempted. I guarantee it. Some temptation will come, it says. So yeah, so temptation, it's a bad example to others, to Christians and to non-believers. So believers and non-believers. And then also there will be sin if you end up moving in together. It's inevitable. And 4 is honor the marriage. Like, honor what marriage is. Write that covenant. And don't defile the marriage bed. And that would just fall under point 4. But yeah, those are 4 importance. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. So have a good one. God bless you all, and I'll see you on the next one. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And please share this with others. God bless.